all-new Dr. Phil.
My mom's walked out of my life every year since I was a child.
She says she's always been there for her son, but
Deborah checked out of the hotel and said she was not showing up today.
will she be there now?
She calls me and says that they're threatening her.
She told us you were the one that was threatening her.
Or will she walk away again?
She's either behind that door or she's not. Deborah, come on out. Let's do it.
Have a good show, everybody. Here we go.
This is a safe place to talk about hard things.
Stand by. We'll count you down.
Today's going to be a changing day in your life.
5, 4.
I am not giving up on you. The saying, mother knows best, right? Well, not according to Cole, who claims his mother, Deborah, is a manipulative liar who has always chosen men over her children, abandoning him not once but twice. But Mom Deborah says Cole hates her because Aunt Karen, who raised him, has filled his head with lies. She says she was always there for Cole, and it was Aunt Karen who denied her access to her own son. Now, Cole says his mom is not to be trusted, and I have to say, I may understand his position. Last night, Deborah checked herself out of the hotel and said she was not showing up today. Well, she is here, but she may or may not show up when it comes time for me to talk to her. Cole says if I can't get through to her, their relationship is over. He says this is the last stop on the subway.
My mom is a manipulative liar, and she's chosen drugs and abusive men over her children.
It's never been about drugs or men. There has just been a lot of unfortunate circumstances.
My mom lied to me. She would say that she would come and see me, and then she never would. My mom always had excuses. My mom would always use her abusive relationships as reasons why she wouldn't come see me and my brothers. My mom's walked out of my life at least twice a year, every year, ever since I was a child. My mother never showed up for Thanksgivings, any holidays, birthdays.
I didn't make it to every birthday and holiday, but I always called and I always messaged Cole every year.
After 16, I hardly ever heard from my mother, and if I did, it was only on her terms. Growing up, my Aunt Karen was like a mother to me. She means the world to me. She helps me anytime I need her.
Karen made it very difficult for me to get a hold of Cole. Karen would get on the phone and say that Cole wasn't there. Karen was a constant roadblock between me and my children.
Last year, my mother found her way back into my life. My mother called me and told me that her boyfriend choked her and crushed her esophagus. So it was our decision to relocate my mom back to Minnesota. My mom moved into my one-bedroom apartment. I talked to my boss and I got her a job. After a couple of months, she told me she was moving back in with her boyfriend. I felt like I was losing my mom again.
I want to make it very clear that I did not move away from Cole to get back with an abusive ex. He knows that.
If Dr. Phil can't get through to my mom, it's over. I'm done with her.
Okay, well, I hate to hear that it's come to this. Why was Aunt Karen raising you to begin with? Why weren't you with your mother?
From what I understand, my grandma, so my mom's mother, came and got me and brought me back to my dad and my aunt due to her living situation.
And what was that living situation as far as you know?
As far as I know, drugs, the guy she was with, abusive.
And how old were you at this point?
2 to 3.
Did your mother come and see you? Did she call? What was your connection with her during that time?
Not for the beginning part. So up until I would say maybe age 10, it was very vague if she ever showed up.
Well, that's 7 years.
Yeah.
She says she was a fine mother, that she was a present mother, that she visited multiple times a year, always cooked your favorite dinner, which was lobster and baked potato, that Karen put false ideas in your head about her as a mother, and that she blames Karen and your dad for brainwashing you.
Okay, so she has showed up multiple times a year, for a day or two and gone. The lobster and shrimp, she made that once, and I cried.
It was lobster and baked potato.
Oh, lobster and baked potato. I cried because I watched the lobster die. I hid in the bathroom.
Oh. You were tight with this lobster, or what? All right, now, Deborah says her love for her son is unconditional. But then why was she not in Cole's life? Let's hear what she has to say.
My relationship with my son Cole is not good because he's angry with me. The main reason is because I left my son with my ex-husband as a child. I tried to keep Cole with me, but when a family member had hit him, I did not want it to continue with my son. Cole thinks that I didn't want to be in his life, but that's not true. Cole's Aunt Karen has done anything possible to manipulate my children into believing that I'm a bad parent. Karen lied to my kids all the time about saying that I was always using drugs, and that wasn't the case. I went to treatment. Karen would tell my kids that I ran away all the time. I tried to get custody of the children, but my whole family was working against me. Financially, I was not able to fight all of this in court. Cole told me that his childhood had been very difficult. Karen would drink, and she threatened the kids with foster care if they didn't behave. She's punched Cole in the stomach several times. Cole blames me for what he went through all these years because I left him. I am tired of all the fighting, tired of all the bickering. I want all of this to stop.
What's your reaction?
Not true.
What's not true about it?
My life there was difficult with my dad and my aunt, but if I would only have known what the present was going to be like, I wouldn't have pushed so hard to make it difficult. I pushed my dad and my aunt away.
Because you had been told they were bad actors?
Because I had told that they were bad. I believed anything that she had said, anything.
Okay. Now, when we talked to her, and she participated in the pre-interviews and everything, she had explanations for why she was what you refer to as an absentee mom, and here they are. She said she had an abusive boyfriend. She said the boyfriend won't let me. She said there was no money. It just simply couldn't get there travel-wise, gas money, car, what transportation. That there was nowhere to stay if she came, so it just wasn't practical. She said she tried calling every day, and the family made it very difficult for her to get on the phone with you, that the family brainwashed Cole into thinking she's a bad mom, didn't stand a chance to get custody. So there's no point in fighting because her living situation violated several of the major tenets that they look for in the fitness of a parent. Stable environment, financial stability, able to nurture and guide the child. She was blocked by the courts and the family. Family knew people in child services, so she said they had an inside track somehow. Didn't help because didn't know that you had problems. She didn't know it was difficult for you. And after Cole moved, she left and said she just couldn't pay the rent. So she really had no stable environment because she was on the fly. So that's why she says she didn't get involved with you. What do you say to that?
She could have got involved. She could have came to Minnesota. She could have moved right down the street. She could have found a way to see us every day, even if it was me walking to the school bus. She could have found a way.
And you think you deserve that?
Yeah.
You think your siblings deserve that?
More than ever.
Well, coming up, the woman who raised Cole is here, and she says she'll do anything to protect Cole from Deborah. We're going to meet her and find out what she has to say next, because she was an adult on the scene, interacting with the mother and with the child. We'll find out what she has to say.
By the time Cole was 15, Deborah was filling his head full of lies saying that I stole her children from her, which wasn't true. If she starts to manipulate him again, then yeah, Mama Bear is gonna kick in, and I'm gonna protect him like I've always done.
And later, now there was drama last night.
She calls me and she says that they're threatening her.
She told us that you were the one that was threatening her. And
Just dig that hole.
My mother was in my life between the ages of 12 to 16, and we were really close. I thought if I fought hard enough, she would never abandon me again. She convinced me that my Aunt Karen and my dad were keeping me from her. When I was growing up, my mom would tell me things to get me to purposely attack her or my father. I believed everything my mom told me. I really acted out towards my aunt and my father. I would tell them, I don't care about you, I don't love you, I don't want you in my life, I don't need you in my life. My Aunt Karen was really protecting me from being hurt.
Well, Cole has emailed me multiple times, sorry,
No, that's okay.
since his mother, Deborah, abandoned him as a little boy, and once again in 2016. Now, Cole says Deborah has disappointed him more times than he can count after claiming that she would stick around. Say, I'm going to be there, I'm going to be there, and then not. Cole now regrets being upset with his Aunt Karen for warning him about his mother, because he thought she was just trying to poison his mind. And as it turns out, she was actually trying to manage his expectations. Now, Cole's Aunt Karen says all she wanted to do was protect him. Take a look.
Deborah's an absentee mother. She's not very reliable. She breaks promises every chance that she gets. Drama's created when she's around. And then after all that, she just up and leaves. Deborah was always making promises that she was going to come see Cole. 95% of the time, she never showed up. That always broke his heart. Since Cole was 2 till he was 18, he has seen Deborah about 10 times. By the time Cole was 15, Deborah was filling his head full of lies saying that I stole her children from her, that we wouldn't let her see them, which wasn't true. It would just create problems that I would in the end have to clean up. Deb never takes responsibility for any of her actions. It's always excuses with her, and it's always somebody else's fault. Your Aunt Karen won't let me. I don't have a place to stay. My boyfriend won't let me come there. It was ridiculous, the excuses that she could come up with. Last year, Cole and his brothers helped move their mom up to Minnesota to get her out of an abusive relationship. Cole helped her get a job, an apartment. She stayed for about 3 months, and then she just took off and left and went back to the abusive boyfriend. It hit Cole really hard, just like when he was a child. My biggest fear is that Cole is gonna get hurt by his mom again. I may not have given birth to Cole and his brothers, but those are my babies because I've raised them. If she starts to manipulate him again, then yeah, Mama Bear is gonna kick in, and I'm gonna protect him like I've always done.
Thank you for being here. He came to live with you at 2, 3 years old.
Yes.
And she says that there were problems, this is her words, she said there were problems with drugs and that she was with an abusive boyfriend.
Correct.
Let's talk about what actually are family lies, according to Deborah. According to her, she said that there were return gifts for Cole, that she would send gifts and that you would intercept them and return them so he didn't get them.
That's not true.
Did that ever happen?
That never happened.
And that she would call and that you would hide that from Cole?
No.
That you just wouldn't tell him that she called,
No.
and you'd make sure she didn't get on the phone with him. You'd block and obstruct her access to him.
No, and she had access to call her mother, which is his grandmother, and he was over at his grandma's a lot.
And that you poisoned his mind about her, that you told him she was a bad person and a drug addict.
No, I didn't have to. He started to see it for himself.
Right.
Yeah.
And that you said that she was never there for him.
No, she wasn't there for him.
And that the family lied and said she was just a runner. That she would just run no matter what. She was a runner.
Well, she proved that she is a runner because she tried to run last night.
Yeah. And that the courts had no contact information, so you guys would go have a hearing. They had no information, so she would lose by default.
No, not true. We had to pay the sheriff every time we thought we knew where she was. We had to pay the sheriff to go serve papers on her in Oklahoma. They finally found her. She knew she had court date. She knew when it was. She chose not to show up. She made an excuse that she didn't have an attorney. And I told her, I said, I didn't care. Those are your children. It doesn't matter. You still show up. And she chose not to.
So what would happen when she did show up? There were times that she did show up, right? You said a few times a year she would show up. What happened?
She would trash me to her kids, make me look like the drug addict, the bad person.
Now, there was drama last night.
She called me and she told me that her dad was talking to her and saying that he didn't raise her this way. She needs to go home. And I had told her, I said, if you don't want to be on the show, that is up to you. But I'm going on the show. I'm doing this for me. And we talked a little bit. She got a little angry and she hung up on me. A couple minutes later, she calls me and she says that they're threatening her.
Because she told us that you were the one that was threatening her. And
Shouldn't dig that hole.
that you were the one threatening her, and that you were telling lies and creating all this drama. And that you were just here for attention, that this was the biggest exhibitionistic stage you could find, and so that's what you were here for.
Of course. Well, thank you for letting me do that.
Yeah. Well, coming up, Cole says he trusted his mother with something very personal, and she betrayed him by telling the world. He'll tell us more about that next.
I made her promise not to tell anyone,
I never told anybody about it. Everybody knew before I did.
but she went behind my back and she told everybody. And it just blew up from there.
You confided in her something very, very sensitive, and she took that from you.
Yep.
And you want to confront her. So she's either behind that door or she's not. Deborah, come on out.
When I was 12, I started skipping school, and I would mainly act out with women teachers. When they would tell me to be quiet, I would get up in their faces and tell them to be quiet. I would throw things, yell. I didn't realize why I was being such a jerk to women until I realized later in my life it was because I had no relationship with my mother. I was acting out against any women with authority.
Cole emailed me asking me to help put all of the issues he has with his mother on the table. He says he always wanted her love, but all she did was disappoint him by disappearing for months at a time. But his mother, Deborah, says Cole was brainwashed by other family members, brainwashed to dislike her, to believe that she didn't love him, that she wasn't interested, that she was a bad mother. Cole says he once believed and trusted his mother, but he's not buying it anymore after Deborah broke his trust when she made his personal business very, very public.
I first thought that Cole might be gay when he was 17.
My mom and I talked about it. My mom tried to tell me that it was a phase, that she experimented before, but I knew I was gay.
He did ask me if I was mad, and I said, no, absolutely not. I'll love you no matter what.
I think she was disappointed because the first thing she said to me was I wanted grandchildren. I could still give her grandchildren. I made her promise not to tell anyone.
I never told anybody about it. Everybody knew before I did that he was gay. I think he's bisexual, though.
She went behind my back and she told everybody. Friends, her sister, who had told her child, who had told her best friend, and it just blew up from there. It's not okay for people to tell other people that I'm gay until I come out as gay. I wanted to tell people when I was ready, and my mother took that away from me.
Well, so you confided in her something very, very sensitive, and it's not something you were ashamed of. This was a matter of timing, right?
Yes.
And she took that from you.
Yep.
And your grandmother didn't handle it well,
No.
and you didn't have a chance to talk her through that, and you felt violated. But that was consistent. I mean, this is what your aunt had been telling you all along, that this didn't shock you.
No.
You would have counseled him not to confide. Mm-hmm. Well, I have two things to say about that. One is, I'm very, very sorry.
Thank you.
And I really commend you for having the courage to step up and claim your identity and claim who you are. And then for somebody to take that truth and that courage and crumple that up and throw it away is just horrible. I hate that for you, but I'm proud that you've accommodated to it.
Thank you.
Well, the woman we're talking about is his mother, and you want to confront her. So she's either behind that door or she's not. Deborah, come on out. Your mother said this morning at the hotel she was not going to do the show, but she did get in the car and come over here because she said she would do it if she would have a private audience with me first. I'm sorry, but not one time in 16 years have I ever talked to a guest off camera. I don't do that for a variety of reasons. And I sure as hell not going to start with her. Because I practice what I preach and I do not reward bad behavior. So she came over here and she said, okay, I will do the show. Then she got in the car and left. She just now got in a car.
Doesn't surprise me.
Pulled out the gate and is headed to the airport, knowing that we're in here having this conversation, that you're sitting in that chair, and that you have come here in a last-ditch effort to heal your relationship with her.
I believed her again. I thought she'd be there.
I can help you better with what we're getting ready to talk about than I could by coercing her, cajoling her, convincing her. You know, I feel like I could talk a statue into sitting down. But and I'm going to tell you the truth as I see it when we come back. Closed captioning provided by
Cole does have some serious issues. I think that Deborah owes him an apology without always having a but at the end of it and pushing blame on someone else. Cole is missing something in his life, and I feel that with Deb giving him a sincere apology, it'll help Cole move forward.
My hope is that she can sincerely apologize and be a mother for the first time in her life.
I don't feel Deborah's ever going to change. I hope that Dr. Phil can help Cole see this, that sometimes certain people just shouldn't be in your life.
Cole says that, of course, it breaks his heart that his mother's not sitting right here, but you're not shocked.
This is what I'm used to.
It is what you're used to. She cannot give you what she doesn't have. And if she doesn't have the ability to recognize, even acknowledge, you can't change what you don't acknowledge. If she doesn't have the ability to acknowledge deficits in a relationship, then she's not going to change it. And there comes a point where you have to say, I'm going to stop sitting here waiting for her to change and give me what I want, give me what I need. You have to give yourself. You have a wonderful woman that loves you very much. She loved you when you were not lovable. She loved you when you were a little right?
Yeah.
She loved you when you were hating on her for protecting you. And she loved you right through that. You are blessed to have a family that loves you. And you're not blessed with your relationship with your mother. And I don't know what she would say. Let me speak in her behalf. These are all allegations. She denies every bit of this. She says there's a different truth. There's a completely other side to this. that she is completely misunderstood, that you're lying about her, you're misinterpreting her. This whole thing is just a spin factory, and that's not true, and she denies all that. So just to make the record balanced, these are all allegations, and she denies them fully. Now, having said that, you need to move on. And here's what I want you to do. You have to prepare yourself with an open heart. Not a black heart, not a closed heart, not a bitter heart, not a heart filled with hatred. You prepare yourself with an open heart. And if she ever comes to you, then your heart is open. But peace at any price is no peace at all. If you make peace with her by pretending she isn't who you believe she is, by pretending the history is not what it is, by lying to yourself, that's no peace. Just have an open heart. And if she ever comes to you in earnest, watch her like a hawk. Take it a day at a time, a step at a time. That's all you can do. You can just get new data. The best predictor of future behavior is relevant past behavior. So the best prediction of what she's going to do over the next 20 years is what she's done over the last 20 years. And that's the truth of it. I wish I could tell you something different, but I'm telling you the truth.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yes.
All right. All right. All right, coming up, we're going to talk to a mother who wants a better relationship with her daughter. Exactly the reverse. Here we have a son that wants a better relationship with his mother. In a minute, I'm going to talk to a mother who wants a better relationship with her daughter. And she is here. She says her daughter needs to take her advice, get back in shape, get off the couch, clean up the house, stop being unmotivated and a lazy mess. We'll talk to them after the break.
Kendra is a lazy mom. She is over 200 pounds and she's only 5'1". Kendra has lived here for 6 months. She still doesn't have a job. I go over to Kendra's apartment and the apartment is just a big mess.
Stuff kind of all over the floor.
Closed captioning provided by Nancy emailed me asking to help motivate her 37-year-old daughter, Kendra. Nancy says Kendra is overweight, her house is a big mess, she has no job and just lies in bed all day long. Now, Kendra says, look, I'm recently divorced and moved to be closer to my parents. But she never expected her mother to nag her all day, every day about everything. Take a look.
I am at my wit's end with my daughter Kendra. She is unhealthy, unmotivated, and financially dependent on me.
My mom is nagging, bitchy, and judgmental.
Kendra is over 200 pounds and she's only 5'1". Kendra has lived here for 6 months. She still doesn't have a job. In fact, she hasn't worked for about a year. Kendra is a lazy mom.
It's not that I'm lazy, it's that I lack motivation.
I go over to Kendra's apartment and often find her lying on the couch and the apartment is just a big mess.
Stuff kind of all over the floor. Not at all unusual.
She never keeps up with her laundry. Her dishes are always piled up in the sink.
Cleaning is not my priority. My kids are my priority.
I can't stand to see her and my grandchildren living like this.
My mom needs to stop being so negative.
Okay, I just want to jump right into this because I think this is a simple solution situation. You look really unhappy. Tell me what you're unhappy about.
Everything.
Uh-huh. Could you narrow that down? Do you really think she's over-intrusive in your life?
Yes, I do.
Uh-huh.
I mean, I know she cares, but it's too much. And right now, it's just really a hard time in my life, and I think she sees that, but she still doesn't stop.
Mm-hmm.
I have seen my daughter in a lot of deep pain for a lot of years.
Mm-hmm.
I walk in and just see her laying around, and I can't stand it. It's like, you've got to do something. You've got to get some motivation. I know I don't handle it right, and that's why I'm here, and I want you to tell me, butt out, do this, do that. It's above me. And
So you know you're doing it wrong, and you want me to tell you to butt out?
or how to do it right.
Okay. Well, butt out. No, there was the second part, how to do this right. And the truth hurts. And a lot of the reason that this is painful to you is because, damn it, she's right. And you know that, you just don't know how to change it. Isn't that the truth?
Yeah.
I mean, because she's saying you're just laying on the couch and not getting your life back together. She's right about that, isn't she? Are you stuck?
I'm stuck, yes.
Okay, so she's right. You're not fighting that she's right. You're just saying, being stuck is stuck. That's right, I'm stuck. If I knew how to do this, if I knew how to get this in gear, I would do it. Do you think I'm happy living like this? Does it look like I'm having fun? I mean, that's the issue, right?
Yeah.
And it just hurts for her to be over there going, when you're saying that to yourself as well. So how can Kendra find motivation to be a self-sufficient single mom? I'm going to give them my meager thoughts when we come back.
I don't date the kind of guys my mom wants me to date.
Approximately 2 weeks of living at our apartments, I saw Kendra sitting at the pool on some guy's lap. I know for a fact she met this guy online. I was appalled she brought this guy around her children. This guy could be a molester. We don't know. One guy that she dated offered my 14-year-old granddaughter something to smoke that may have been marijuana.
I found out after I had broken up with him. If it was something that had happened and we were together, it would have been an issue.
I don't understand why she dates thugs.
Do you date thugs?
No.
That was too strong a word, I'm going to admit.
Okay. Forget about what mom wants. What do you want?
Well, I'd like to have a decent job to help support my kids better.
Sure. All right, what else?
I need to resolve the issues I have with my dad.
Okay. Do you see him very often?
I haven't seen him in probably 5 years.
And so you would want some help with that?
Yes, I would.
Okay. What else in your personal life?
Lose some weight.
Are you lonely?
Yes.
Tell me about the loneliness in your life.
I mean, I have my kids, but it's not the same.
Of course, you love your kids and you
Of
have
course.
them, but you want to go out with somebody that you don't have to cut their meat, right?
Right. Yeah.
Do you miss having a good relationship with your mother where you talk about something other than what's wrong with you?
Yes. Because I feel like now every time we're talking, or most of the time, it's about me nagging on me, getting on my case about different things.
You would think the house needs to be cleaner, right?
Yes, and it's not that I don't ever clean the house.
Didn't ask you that, but you would agree that it could be better.
Yeah.
You would agree that you need to get in better shape.
Yes.
You would agree that you want a job.
Yes.
You would agree. It's everything she says you agree with. That we agreed. We talked about that. That's not the point. It's that, yeah, it's easier said than done.
Right.
Absolutely.
And you love her. It doesn't matter whether
all
she
my
weighs
heart.
200 or 120
I
or
don't
300.
care
It doesn't
at
matter
all.
whether the house is clean or not. It doesn't matter. You love her no matter what.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Okay, and that's what you need to make her. Right now is when she needs to know that her mother believes in her the same way she did when she was at the top of her game. Okay? We all need balcony people. We all need balcony people. We all need people up there cheering us on and saying, come on, I know you can do this. I love you. I believe in you. You can do this. There's a book called Balcony Peoples. It's a little book, but it's a great book. And you need to be one of her balcony people. You are one of her balcony people. You've always been one of her balcony people. You just got down there on the floor and started messing with it. You need to get back up in the balcony. Okay? Closed captioning provided by... Really, you've gone through some trauma in your life. You've gone through a divorce. You don't have a job now. You're just like, how am I ever going to get out of this? And then you let yourself get out of shape so you don't have energy, right? Because how much do you think you're overweight?
Maybe like 75 pounds.
Okay, that's about the weight of a recliner. Okay, so it's like you're going through life with a recliner on your back. Wouldn't that be tiring?
Yeah.
I'm going to get you a couple of things, okay? I'm going to get you an individual therapist that is going to help you unravel some of this stuff, and I suspect they're going to start with your self-esteem issues and deal with your issues with your dad. And then I'm going to get you a trainer and a nutritionist. And you're going to get off the couch and on the treadmill. You're going to get with somebody that's going to really get you feeling proud of who you are. Okay? And I'm going to get somebody, you don't have to be a good athlete, you just need to do this. I'm going to give you my book, 20/20 Diet. And I just had a woman on here yesterday, lost 80 pounds in less than a year and looked like $1 million. And I'm going to make her your new pen pal. Then I'm going to hook you up with the best headhunter in the country. I mean, this guy is named Tony Bashira, and he's with Babbage and Associates, and he's in Dallas, Texas, but he works worldwide. And Tony Bashira is, I mean, this guy's a steely-eyed killer. And he's going to get to know you. You're talking about typing up a resume. This guy knows what to put together and how to do things. And he's going to work with you to get you back in the workforce so you can take some pride in leading your family and taking care of your children. Okay? Deal? You can do this. All right? Okay. Robin has made a mission statement in her life about taking care of yourself so you can take care of others. So pamper this audience for me.
Oh, I would love to. I actually have 2 products in mind today that I want to give everyone. So the first one is Welcome Back Youth. It has retinol in it, and I love that ingredient. That's vitamin A, actually. It also has vitamin C. And what I really think everyone should have on their skin, hyaluronic acid for hydration. It helps tighten the skin while giving it a healthy glow. This is one you want to use nightly, and when you start, use it really just once a week. Then when you have gotten your skin used to it, you can increase it 2 to 3 times weekly. The next one, hydrated skin equals youth. It helps to unclog pores while helping your skin to naturally exfoliate and then to absorb the moisture for younger looking complexion. It leaves a smoother, brighter skin with improved tone. It also contains safflower oil, green tea oil, all wonderful ingredients. And you want to use this as part of your morning routine after cleansing and before that very important sunscreen.
I've had it all on the top of my head.
He's so good about it.
If you want to get this at home, you can go to robinmcgrawrevelation.com. Everybody here is going home with both products. And if you want tickets to the Dr. Phil show, go to drphil.com/get tickets. See you next time.